Titled, Am I the Astronaut for Starting Arguments by Insisting on Talking Through Disagreements with My Husband? This is a long-standing issue between my husband, 36 male, and myself, 41 female. My husband has always had an issue with communication. When we were first dating, it was to the point where there were long pauses before each sentence because he had to put so much thought into what he was going to say. I, on the other hand, am really big on open, honest communication within relationships, be it significant other, familial, or just friendships, but maintain that the honesty must come out in a way that isn't intentionally hurtful. Like all marriages, my husband and I disagree at times. While I would like to talk about this disagreement in a calm manner, he would rather ignore the issue. If I try to push the issue, his words, by coming to him to try to talk, it always turns into him ignoring, yelling, belittling, blowing off, etc. It doesn't matter if I try to talk to him immediately or days later, it always happens. It has even happened recently when there were a lot of things bothering me. Some things involved him, some not, but I just kept it to myself because I didn't want to deal with his reactions to my issues. He asked me to talk, but I refused until the next day when he brought up my refusal to talk and laid everything out. I was frustrated, but didn't yell or cuss or belittle or anything. Just kind of word vomited everything that was bothering me. It went exactly as predicted. Now we have a 13-year-old son. Overall, a very good young man, but he's 13. Typical teenager problems pop up. Tonight was the argument about going to bed. Tomorrow he doesn't have school, so he got to stay up late. It was 11:30 p.m. and I told him to shower and go to bed. An argument ensued about how his friends don't have a bedtime and he should be able to pick his bedtime and blah, 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 blah. I wasn't getting loud. I have PTSD. I hate loud. Loud is a big trigger for me, but I was being stern. My husband decided to butt in, yelling at him to go shower and go to bed. My stance on parenting is you don't interfere with what the other is doing unless the situation is out of control or the child is being put at risk. If you have an issue, you take it up with the other parent away from the child after the situation is dealt with. Intervening undermines the other parent's authority and will cause issues with the child. I tried to bring up this issue with my husband. Again, he refused to talk it through. I pushed. Argument ensued. He finally said to post it here to see who is right, both about the communication issue and the parenting issue. So Reddit, who is the asshole? There's an edit to add here explaining my word vomit. I laid out everything that was on my mind and not just about him. Issues included problems with my oldest son, 22 male, dealing with a vehicle claim, the state of the house, issues with the VA, everyone getting COVID, my mom living with us and the fear for her health, husband had it, gave it to me 2 weeks later, and our youngest son had it, stressing about finances due to more unexpected expenses than planned for, my son's dog got sick and required emergency vet care, and then special at-home care, and then his own lack of personal care for his own health and well-being and the effects it has on the family. I'm sure there was more, but he hyper-focused on my issues with our oldest son and started berating me about it. Completely ignored everything else aside from slightly touching on his own personal health and how it's no big deal. I was not just ranting at him and everything he did wrong. Most of what I was going on about had nothing to do with him, but I needed support and didn't get it. And there's a lot to unpack in this story. But, ladies and gentlemen, Candy Thunder. Oh my God, it's Candy Thunder.
You know, I feel like, and I think we talked about this yesterday, but like learn how to fight productively.
Yeah.
And I think that she married him and knew that he wasn't great at communication. But also I think something that works for us is, do you want feedback from me? Do you want to help find a solution, or do you just need to vent about what's going on? And maybe, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine not having a partner that I can't talk things through with, even if it's a disagreement, even if it's something that's going to be a hard conversation. I can't imagine not being able to talk to somebody about that.
I agree with you. And
I mean, I think
there's a couple of sides to this, though. I have found it extremely helpful on my end because I'm immediately solution seeking. Anytime I start hearing about a problem, I'm like, okay, how do we address this? But if you give me the disclaimer up front and you're like, I'm not looking for a solution, I'm looking to vent, then I know. I'm like, okay, listen. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that if you want your marriage to survive, then you both need therapy, because this is not something that can withstand much longer. If you are very frustrated with your husband and not being able to open up about things that are bothering you.
They talk about having a 22-year-old son here.
And a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
So they've been married a lot.
But 22, husband is 36. And
so I would assume
OP's 41.
Maybe the son, the 22-year-old is hers.
At the time, so yeah, who knows?
But also there's this line where if you put too much on your partner, it can make them shut down. So I think maybe ask yourself how much are you venting and how much of it really needs to be vented to your husband. There's things that I know I can talk to him about, that there's also things that are triggers for him that will automatically like shift him to asshole or defensive mode. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk about those things with you. So it's like I figure out different solutions on my own or talking to other people about those things. Because I know that that's something that you're not that you're not interested, but it's just, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Regardless of if it's venting or solution seeking, there are some things that are going to consume my mind.
Correct. There you go.
And
drama is one of those things. He hates drama. And so if there's stuff, like depending on the severity of what's going on.
Trauma.
I would minimize whatever I'm trying to tell him into a very concise and clear statement so that it's not telling him too much. So I think that she needs to look at how much she is venting to her husband or how much she wants to have these conversations. Because if it's constantly happening, then maybe he has a little bit of the trauma. Maybe it's too much.
Trauma.
So I think trauma.
That too.
Whatever.
That too.
I think that he may have a little bit of that with her. But again, therapy would help because you have to be able to talk to your partner. You have to. And if he shuts down immediately, then there is no communication. She has no outlet. She has no, I can't imagine you shutting down every time I try to speak to you. That would be really incredibly difficult.
It would be tough. And also the whole approach of just shoving issues deep down and pretending they don't exist. That's not a solution. And that's not healthy.
But I would guess that's how he was raised. You don't talk about it. You just put it away, and it is what it is. And which is why his emotions come out with ignoring, yelling, belittling, blowing out. Like those things, those come out because he doesn't know how to handle his emotions. So
it's him trying to cope with something he doesn't know how to
If you push everything down, it is going to come out at some point. You can
but
only
it comes
push
out
stuff down
as
so
vomit.
Far.
When you push it all down, like it comes out with no control over anything. That's not a solution. So therapy to learn how to communicate productively is definitely needed if he's willing to do that, because that's confronting issues, not just ignoring them. They don't go away.
Dusty
obviously.
Doesn't just about walk on water. No, we both have our own baggage.
We have plenty of shit.
We both have our own BS faux show.
He's 36 and obviously still immature, but you got to learn to get past that at some point here. And they've got they've got kids that are older along, so at some point there's got to be a decision to improve those skills. And it was an intentional decision for us. I mean, for me, I had to become a lot more self-aware and do intentional work. And I think if you are always focused on doing better in your relationship, you're only going to go in the right direction. He's got this like ignore it and it'll go away. It's just not healthy.
It's not. And I don't know how you made it this far. I don't know how. I mean, you guys have a 13-year-old together, so you've been together for quite a while. This would be soul crushing to me. I could not withstand this. Like this, I would have been in counseling a lot sooner, or this marriage would have already fallen apart, because I think not being able to express yourself without the fear of being belittled or yelled at, that would suck. That would suck very badly. And I feel for you because, I don't know. I do feel bad for OP.
So is she the astronaut for starting arguments by insisting on talking through disagreements with her husband?
I don't think so, but maybe you're an asshole to yourself because you know what this is going to bring to your life. It's like, what do you keep touching the hot stove? Like you keep touching the hot stove every time when you know that this argument is not going to go anywhere but frustration for you. I think the best thing, you're an asshole to yourself. So fix it, get counseling, or leave the marriage. I hate saying divorce but if you can't express yourself to the one person that's supposed to always be in your corner without fear of being made to feel bad for expressing yourself, then I think that's not a marriage. Right.
The counseling part of this is mandatory, I would say. If you have any chance of surviving, the counseling part of this is mandatory, because you have to be able to communicate effectively.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's even worse to have a partner who's not a partner. It's just having another kid.
You know what?
At that point.
Come to the Dusty Thunder page, be a part of our fam, and you can vent.
Bring it.